look up to for their success or just the life they're living, they had to start somewhere. So think of the most beautiful human in the world, Beyonce. I mean, she's beautiful. She's talented. Do you think everybody believed in her? Do you think everybody supported her wholeheartedly and everybody loved her? Absolutely not. Not only does it's just impossible for everybody to like you, but there is always some friction at the beginning of anything. You don't just wake up one morning and you're like, oh, I'm a star. Oh, I have millions of dollars. You're going to have to work towards that and you're going to have to push through these feelings that you care what other people think because even the people that you look up to now, you don't think about them being the place that you are now. You don't think of them as being nervous or shy or having this imposter syndrome. You don't think about that. But think about it now. Whether it be Beyonce or a famous baseball player, or maybe just the CEO at your business, or your mom or your dad, somebody you look up to. Do you think that they just had it real easy getting up to where they are? Do you think that nobody judged them? Do you think that they didn't have a little bit of imposter syndrome? Of course they did. Of course they did. So you just have to think like you are looking up to these people, and that's going to be you one day to somebody else. Even if it's one person, it's worth it. So the next way to not care what people think is to feel confident in your work and where you're going and not share everything with everybody. If you find that it doesn't do you any good by sharing your thoughts and your dreams and your goals, don't do it. Wait until you've accomplished it, especially if it helps you to not worry about what other people are thinking. But for example, for me, I did feel very embarrassed. And then once I started to show myself online, I'm like, whatever, I don't really care if I mention my hopes and dreams because I'm really working on this. But for you, if you feel like you can't really share that right now because you think you will be really impacted by the things that people say, keep it to yourself. And to help with the whole idea that you you're not good enough for it or it's not meant for you, you need to just continue to get better and continue to learn. So it helps you to feel more comfortable and it helps you to not believe other people if you're continuing to better yourself. So for example, if you're like, I'm going to go for this really awesome, high paying job, but I feel like people are going to laugh at me for even thinking I'm qualified. First of all, don't mention it to anybody if you don't want to. Just cut that out altogether. And secondly, learn. Let's just say that you are looking to open your own franchise of something. You first of all, you can do whatever the hell you want. But second of all, what's going to help you not worry and care what other people say is when you are as knowledgeable and ready as you can be. Because nobody's going to tell you you don't know what you're talking about if you know what you're talking about. It's not even going to matter what people say. So you have to feel good about where you're at before you can worry about how you're going to respond to others and what they say and think. And I want to touch on imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome, for anybody who isn't familiar with the term, I think we all have felt this way at one point or another. You feel like you're either not good enough or you're not supposed to be doing something that you're doing. So, as a freelance writer, when I first got into it, I was like, who do I think I am pitching my work to this big company? Like, I have not been doing this for long. I'm new. I'm whatever. And this is, again, a story you're telling yourself. And we believe that we're imposters because we're trying, quote unquote, trying to be this person. We feel like we're posing as this other thing that we're not. And you know what? Imposter syndrome is stupid. I understand it. I get where it's coming from. I've had it before, but just think about it. Being an imposter and having imposter syndrome, I should say, it's just being a beginner. We're all imposters at some point. We're all learning. It's part of the whole timeline. We learn everything in life. We don't grow up knowing how to brush our teeth. Are we imposters until we nail how to brush our teeth and never have cavities? No. So you just have to understand that we all start somewhere. Even that person that is running their own business that you want to do one day, somebody that opened their own boutique, or somebody who opened a restaurant or started to move up the corporate ladder. Everybody had to push through that feeling that they're not good enough, that they don't know enough, and be a quote unquote imposter. That's just part of the deal. It's just part of it. And that's just something that's going to hold you back if you let it. And it makes sense. And that's why we're talking about it, because it's so common to feel that way. Now, I want to leave you with a question. And this can have you spiraling a little bit. If you're in this point where you did need to hear this conversation specifically, I think this question will leave you thinking and could possibly help you make a decision. So, what if you met who you were able to be, who you were supposed to be? What if you, of course, you're going to pass one day. What if you do that and then you go to the afterlife? Just humor me with whatever you believe. Fill in the blank. You open the door and there's you. And you're like, what? That's weird. And the person's like, hi, I'm the person you were meant to be. I'm the person that you had the potential to be. Do you think right now that you are that person? Or are you not that person? Because right now, I think that that person that I will meet one day or whatever, the person that I'm meant to be, I believe that that person has a community of women online who has a successful podcast, who's changed the world in some small way. I believe that. I believe it wholeheartedly, and saying that out loud is hard. But when I meet that person, if I do this exercise and I think of the person that I was meant to be, I do think that I'm working towards that. I think that I need to keep pushing. I need to remind myself of all these things we've talked about today. But I think I am on that ride there. I think I am very aligned with what I'm meant to do. And I don't want you to think that this just applies to career or whatever. It applies to you feeling your best just in your body, your mindset, your relationships, really whatever in life you need to feel confident about. So this is applying to every aspect of life. So are you working towards that person that you want to meet? If you're listening to this and you're like, I'd have to make quite a few changes because I know I have the ability to do this or that, and I know that I'm probably meant to be doing this and I'm just not because I'm worried about what people think or I feel like I'm not good enough. You need to think about all of these things and then really put into practice at least one of these things. Think about one of them. Either start doing some affirmations, work on your people pleasing tendencies, work on your mindset. Think about who you're living for every day. Start your day off with that. Set an alarm in the morning that says, who are you living for? That's actually a really good idea. I want you to think about that person that you could meet. And that person can be the person that you've always wanted to be, the person that you're meant to be. Maybe that's the same person. But think about that. Are you married with children and you're afraid to put yourself out there? Are you not married? Are you not in a relationship? Do you not want kids and you feel like you're being pushed down this road to have kids? Who is that person that you're going to meet? If you're not on the trajectory to become that person, you're doing yourself such a disservice. It isn't just about career. Like I said, it's about you, how you feel in every aspect of life, relationships, friendships, romantic relationships, career, travel, your hobbies, what you do day in and day out, what you eat, how you treat your body. Think of all of those things and then think about that person that you're meant to be. And if you're on the road to being that person, because we all deserve to be that person. We all deserve to be our highest self. And that basically means the most incredible you that you can be, the most happy, successful person. And success here means being authentic to yourself. It doesn't mean money. It doesn't mean like fame. It doesn't mean anything silly. It means feeling happy, being authentic to who you're meant to be. You deserve that. And then to swing back around, all of that can be halted There can be a huge barrier in the road to you being who you want to be and are meant to be if you care what people think, if you let that stop you. Because again, it is so normal to care what people think. If you care what people think, it's your job to acknowledge that. You don't have to just accept it. You don't just have to say, okay, well, I don't really want to stir the pot, or I don't want people to be saying this about me, so I guess I'm not going to pursue this dream. I mean, when you put it like that, it sounds pretty silly, doesn't it? Go through those things that I said today. Unlearn your need to impress others, your need to validate your feelings or desires, unlearn that other people matter in your story, because they really don't. And everybody else, I mean, I can go on and on about this conversation. Everybody else is in their own world. Nobody thinks about you nearly as much as you think they do. You're a character, a background character in other people's lives. And it is so hard to put these thoughts. You might believe it 100%. You're like, duh, I know, like I feel that way. But it's hard to actually go through the motions and be like, okay, this is not going to affect me anymore. I'm going to pursue this. I'm going to say this. I'm going to share this. But you deserve to try. You deserve to be the person that you are capable of being, that you want to be. That's what life's about. If it's not about that, what is it about then? Okay, so we got into it in that episode, about a half hour long of me ranting to you about being your best, most authentic self. And that's really what this whole podcast is about. It's about helping you to be that person, to become your most authentic self, live the most authentic life you can, because that is what's going to make you the happiest and most confident. It's like a vicious cycle. You can't be living your best life if you're not confident, and you're not going to be confident if you're not living your best life. So, on that note, we'll wrap up. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for listening. As I said, sharing, rating. I absolutely love doing this, and let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know if anything helps you, if you have suggestions about things to talk about or different guests I can have on. Don't forget to follow me on TikTok and Instagram. Shoot me an email with any thoughts, feedback, and any of the things I just said. And again, thank you, thank you, thank you. I will see you next time. Bye.